Hello there. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Eric McKay, and this is News Channel Nebraska. Let's take a look at our top headlines today. Governor Jim Pillen declared April Financial Literacy Awareness Month on Thursday. The governor hosted the Nebraska Department of Banking and Finance and the Nebraska Council on Economic Education in a ceremony at the Capitol. Also on hand, kids from the Pendragon branch of Charter West Bank and Pender Public Schools, a financial literacy program that teaches kids the ins and outs of personal finance.
At the conclusion of this school year, I plan to take the money that I've been saving each week and open a real savings account at the bank, and I will continue to save for my long-term goal of purchasing my own car. It has been very rewarding to watch my savings account grow penny by penny and dollar by dollar over the years.
The branch is part of the Council on Economic Education's in-school savings program, which gives elementary school students the opportunity to try their skills as school branch tellers and provide students a lesson in how to save for their futures. A renovated building in Norfolk is hoping to help Northeast Nebraskans get in touch with their creative side. Ryan Pattee has more.
Several community leaders gathered along Norfolk Avenue Thursday to welcome a new educational workspace in the city. Northeast Community College broke ground on an innovation hub called the iHub in Norfolk. The community college plans for the building to be a makerspace and youth STEM center featuring wood and metal shops, a robotics and automation lab, collaboration spaces, and more. NECC President Leah Barrett said the iHub is an opportunity for Northeast Nebraskans to explore and innovate their community.
It is a place where we can celebrate, full of windows, full of life, full of children, full of people that want to make a difference and want to figure out what those jobs of the future are.
U.S. Congressman Mike Flood said places like the iHub help keep young entrepreneurs in Nebraska and prepare young workers for a country more focused on automation.
They need to come in here and they need to make tomorrow's solutions using technology and robotics, because we are going to be automating more and more jobs every single day. And we have to be one of the only cities our size in the United States that's made this kind of an investment for all the right reasons.
Norfolk Mayor Josh Moaning said the iHub is a testament to Norfolk's dedication to growing and of thinking outside the box.
Norfolk has to work twice as hard to attract the opportunities it gets. So that's unfortunate, but it's also beneficial, because it's engendered in us, in our community over the years, an entrepreneurial spirit that I wouldn't trade for anything.
NECC plans to begin the renovations this month and have the building ready for use by August of 2025. Congressman Mike Flood is the founder and an owner of Flood Communications, which owns News Channel Nebraska. Reporting in Norfolk for News Channel Nebraska, I'm Ryan Pattee.
And finally, a major new sports complex is closer to becoming a reality in central Nebraska. Michael Shively brings us this latest update.
I'll do mine after yours.
These signatures carry some extra weight for the Brandt family.
You want me to do mine?
As a city employee, Lauren Brandt saw voters approve funding for the Kearney Sportsplex. Now, as Sportsplex manager, she's with her kids, sharing a milestone moment in the city's biggest project ever.
To be able to see them at this young age and then know that they'll get to grow at this complex too, again, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Well, when it comes to transportation, how safe is it where you live? Residents in a southeast Nebraska community had a chance to weigh in on that last night. Doug Kennedy has more.
An open house at the Beatrice Public Library sought input and suggestions as the city develops a Safe Streets for All action plan.
Where maybe they're seeing or they feel as though some folks could improve their driving behavior or their crossing behavior if they're pedestrian or if they're riding their bike, using more appropriate traffic laws, but also just identifying throughout the community where they think there's opportunities for safety improvement.
Mark Luchaharms, a transportation senior project manager for JEO Consulting Group, spoke about one part of the process, looking at areas where crashes most frequently happen and how they may be prevented.
Of course, it's difficult to know the why of why those crashes are occurring, but certainly speed management is a big component of it. Folks not managing their speeds or not abiding by the speed limits. Certainly distracted driving is another issue. Some of it also might come down to the intersection control, whether there's stop signs or a lack thereof, and maybe better ways to control the intersection. And certainly a lot of times just for geometric improvements to help slow that traffic down on those streets.
The information gained from the open house will be used to help compile a plan with recommendations. Those will be shown at a second public meeting before they are presented to the City Council for approval of a Safe Streets for All action plan. Aside from traffic enforcement, design changes have been used to improve safety and getting the public to adjust to them.
Some people love and some people hate those types of treatments, but there certainly are a wide variety of treatments. Roundabouts is certainly one of them that are proven safety measures. They force traffic to slow down. And when there are crashes, they're very minor in nature. You very seldom see someone killed or even severely injured at those types of intersections. So that certainly could be part of this project of providing more education to folks as to what the benefits of those type of intersection treatments might be.
As more communities see pedestrians, bicycles, scooters, and runners mix with vehicle traffic, Lucia Harms said the study seeks to address that.
Traditionally, it's all about widening roads or improving the flow of traffic, and less so about making safe accommodations for walkers and bikers. And so a lot of this is giving some more focus to that and some opportunities to make improvements for those modes of traffic also.
Finalizing a safety action plan is a key step before the City of Beatrice can seek grant funding to implement safety plan components. Lucia Harms says there are a number of U.S. Department of Transportation grants that communities can tap into to improve safety, including the Safe Streets for All program.
Beatrice was actually in the first round of applying for that grant money. There's since been a second. Now there's a third round going on right now. So it's only been about a 2.5 year program. So it's still fairly in its infancy.
The Beatrice project timeline calls for advisory group meetings, a second public session in October, with presentation of a final plan to city officials in December. From Beatrice, Doug Kennedy, News Channel, Nebraska.
Norfolk's outgoing mayor being given one of his hometown's highest honors. Norfolk Mayor Josh Moning selected as the 55th winner of the Norfolk Oscar. It's an award given out annually during the Norfolk Area Chamber of Commerce's banquet. Chamber officials cited Moning's efforts in economic development and in growing Norfolk's population in giving him the honor. Moning recently announced that he will not be running for re-election this year. He was a Norfolk City councilman prior to being elected mayor in 2016. A Central Nebraska Utilities Department getting nationally recognized. The city of Hastings says they were honored this week by the American Public Power Association for achieving exceptional electric reliability in 2023. That means they ranked in the top 25% of publicly owned utilities for keeping the power on over a 5-year period. The APPA is a trade group that represents over 2,000 public utilities. And one of Southeast Nebraska's very own is set to take part in one of the biggest events in the sport of running. Jake Bartecki has more.
The distance between Beatrice, Nebraska and Boston, Massachusetts measures somewhere around 1,500 miles, but a Southeast Nebraska pastor will make that trek to run 26.2 miles. Pastor Darren Vaughn of St. Paul's Lutheran Church in Beatrice is set to run the 7th marathon of his career, and it happens to be one of the most prestigious in all of running.
Running, I never was in track or anything like that, so it was something where just from high school on, I ran, I guess you could say, recreationally off and on.
What started out as a hobby has turned into a passion for Bond. In training for the Boston Marathon, he follows a 5-week training regimen, registering about 75 miles of running per week. The Boston Marathon will be his first big city marathon. Bond says being a pastor is a time-consuming job, but one that allows ample time for training.
I do work a lot of hours as a pastor, but is flexible very often. So, like today, I could rearrange my schedule for a morning run, and that was not a problem. So that is kind of a little benefit that comes along with being a pastor, I guess.
Bond says running can be a time for self-reflection.
For me to relieve stress, to unwind, also as a pastor to have time for prayer as I pray for my congregation members and for God to lead me. It is perfect. I never bring headphones. It's always just a chance for really alone time with God, I guess you could say.
As Bond gets set for the big run, the congregation and Beatrice communities are going above and beyond to support one of their own.
So it's been huge. The church has, they gathered a collection for our family to be able to go to Boston. They have been keeping us in prayers. They're super supportive, and you know, when I run a race, they want to know how I did, and so that's always so exciting that they're just so invested in it, and they want to know how to follow me in the Boston, even my confirmation.
Now, Pastor Bond says his family and himself are ready to make the trip out east. They plan to leave on Saturday for the marathon on Monday morning. Reporting in Beatrice, Jake Bartecki, News Channel Nebraska.
And you can stay up to date with the very latest by following us online. Head to newschannelnebraska.com, click on the news tab there. You can also follow us on X, like us on Facebook and Instagram as well. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great day. You're watching News Channel Nebraska.